Origins of Cosmological Thought from Myth to Early Scientific Models. This documentary presents an overview of the first 5 stages in the historical development of human attempts to understand the structure of the universe. The material is organized into sequential sections: the formation of mythic explanations, the interaction between myth and early observation, the emergence of pre-scientific interpretation, the development of early independent cosmological models, and the institutionalization of systematic scientific methodology. Myth as the initial framework for cosmological explanation. The earliest human groups produced explanations for natural phenomena without access to systematic measurement, astronomical instrumentation, or analytical categorization. Their models relied on symbolic structures that organized unexplained events into coherent representational systems. These systems are classified as mythological frameworks. Mythic explanations functioned as cognitive templates that aligned human perception with environmental regularities. They established an early classification of celestial bodies, atmospheric events, and biological cycles using symbolic constructs rather than empirical descriptions. Examples include the cosmic egg model, hierarchical cosmic layers, ancestral entities controlling natural cycles, and various cyclic creation schemes. These frameworks lacked observational verification but offered consistent internal structures for organizing unknown processes. Interaction between myth and the first observational patterns. As repeated natural phenomena became recognizable, human groups began recording rudimentary observational sequences. These included lunar phases, solar movement across the horizon, and seasonal star configurations. The emergence of these repeated patterns did not remove mythic explanations. Instead, the patterns were incorporated into pre-existing symbolic systems. In Mesopotamia, cuneiform records linked mythic deities to specific sky regions while simultaneously documenting star cycles. In Egypt, the annual rise of Sirius was integrated into the symbolic calendar of the Nile flood cycle, combining observation with ritual structure. In each case, the mythic system served as a container into which observational data were inserted. This hybrid structure represented the transitional state between symbolic cosmology and nascent empirical recording. Transformation of mythic structure through early scientific interpretation as observational data increased. Certain mythic components lost explanatory priority. This did not eliminate mythic systems, but forced them into secondary interpretative roles. Mesopotamian astronomers generated numerical tables predicting lunar and planetary cycles. These tables demonstrated periodicity independent of mythic narrative. Egyptian administrative calendars converted astronomical markers into scheduling tools for agriculture and taxation. Early geometric practices in Anatolia and Greece demonstrated that spatial relations and proportions could describe terrestrial and celestial arrangements without reference to mythic entities. These developments illustrate the gradual reclassification of myth from explanatory framework to symbolic background. The primary function of explanation shifted toward repeatable patterns rather than narrative structures. Section 4. Emergence of independent natural models in pre-scientific thought. The appearance of naturalistic cosmological models marks a decisive shift. These models no longer relied on mythic agents or symbolic hierarchies. Thales, who proposed a material substrate as the basis of all phenomena. Anaximander, who developed the concept of an indefinite origin principle. Anaximenes, who used physical density and rarefaction as mechanisms for transformation. These propositions lacked experimental verification, yet they introduced a critical methodological change. They proposed that natural events could arise from internal physical processes rather than external agents. Simultaneously, mathematical abstraction expanded. The Pythagorean school classified numerical ratios as structural components of natural order. By the Hellenistic period, geometric astronomy was introduced. Eudoxus employed concentric spheres to represent celestial motion, although technically limited. These models represent the first attempts to describe astronomical events using systematic, non-symbolic structures. Formation of systematic scientific methodology, the foundation of modern scientific practice required for elements, institutional continuity, repeatable observation, mathematical formalization, and methodological criteria for validation. These elements emerged gradually,